Okay. So we're learning now Yevamos, and we're up to Daf Tzadi Ches Amud Beis. I think Steve went to make you a. Oh, gotcha. Sandy, you're already up there. Yeah. Wonderful. And we have 3 people watching on Zoom. All right. So let's see where we got up to. On Daf Tzadi Ches Amud Beis, and we're up to Miksasan Kohen. All right, so we're back to the diagrams. This is not the easiest part of Masechet Yevamot, but there aren't too many easy parts to this. So we're up to the last of the skinny lines. That means 5 lines up from the bottom of the Amud. And what we're discussing here is a tarovis, where, and there even know stories about this even in contemporary life, where the babies got mixed up and we don't know exactly who is the son of whom. So now we have a case of a tarovis of miksasan kohanim, miksasan she'enam kohanim. Now we have a diagram here, but I don't know if you have the diagram, but it's on page Tzadi Ches Amud Beis number Hey. I'll just read it to you. I think you'll be able to follow. So he's got 5 men that are not related to each other. 2 of the 5 are Kohen. So he calls them Aaron HaKohen and Sadak HaKohen. Now he's got another 3 men named Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They're not Kohen. And none of these 5 are related to each other. Now, each one of these 2 Kohanim gets married and has a son. So Aaron HaKohen marries Elisheva, and they have a son by the name of Reuven, who's obviously a Kohen, because his father's a Kohen. And Sadak HaKohen marries Tzipora, and they have a son named Levi. Don't get fooled by the name Levi, but he's a Kohen. Okay. Now the story goes on and on. Avram nosas Chana, v'yolda lo es Yisach. Okay. Yitzchak nosas Pnina, v'yolda lo es Dan. V'Yaakov nosas Yocheved, v'yolda lo es Gad. All right, he has all these different names. I don't think right now we have to memorize these names, but some of these names will become important as we go along. Okay. So we have 5 men marrying 5 women. V'yoldu chamesh noshim elu baleim ben nosaf b'machbo. So again, we know exactly the names of the sons of these 5 women, and of course, their husbands. But in addition to those sons, which we mentioned by name, and we had Reuven and Levi and Yisachar and so forth, we also have another son, but the 5 women have each respectively, obviously, a son, but all these 5 sons got mixed up in the tarovis. This arvu havlodos v'ein yodua mihu b'na shel kol achas. So in the diagram, he has like these kind of hexagons, with a question mark on each one of them. We don't know which marriage they came from. Now, Godlu Bnei Tarot. So we have these 5 unidentified boys that now grew up, V'nasu Nashu, and they got married. Once again, he comes up with another list of names. Echad Nosas Sarah, Hasheni is Rivka, Shlishi is Rachel, Ravi is Leah, Hamishi Nosas Dina. Umesu Bnei Tarobis below Banim. So far, so good. So it means these 5 unnamed, anonymous boys died without children. V'nafla Eishes kol echad v'echad l'fnei echad. Yeah, but we don't know who the echad is, correct? Because we don't know who are the parents of these 5 men, the sons of the 5 ladies who were mixed up in a tarobas. So Mesu Bnei tarobas below Banim, v'nafla Eishes kol echad l'fnei achiv. Became a she'en yadua mihu achiv shel kol echad mehem, kuka kol achas misafei l'chol habanim shelo nis'arv. In other words, second, if I have this, now wives are now going to need. In other words, if we isolate any one of these 5 unknowns, we could say that one of the 5 knowns is achiv. We don't know which of the 5 is achiv. So we're going to do the whole trick, right? Let's go over the whole trick, right? So 4 out of the 5 will do chalitza, and then he could be miyabim. The 5th could be miyabim, and then he, together with the other 4, will give chalitza. I'm sorry, the other 3 will give chalitza to all of these, and so forth and so on, right? The whole round robin that we discussed. But here the situation is more complicated because of the Kohen. He says, Hare Ruvain, who's right, Ruvain was the son of Aaron married to Elisheva. The Levi, who is the son of Tzadok, who married, what was it, Tzipora, whatever it is, Kohanim him. The Einam Yecholim Liyavim Afilu Achas Minashim. Why? Because each one of these 5 women has to get chalitza because of the sveikos. Sharei lifnei ayibum tzrichem shar havadoim lachlotzlo. Right? In order to set up that round robin, you need that each one of the other 4 brothers has to give a chalitza. B'shema echad min havadoim shechol etzlo hu achi baila. Right? It could very well be that one of the 4 brothers who gave chalitza was the real Baal, and therefore he has to give chalitza. Barehi chalutza v'psula l'kuhuna. Mishum kach shneim choltzim l'chol hachamesh noshim. So here's a case where there has to be a chalitza to all 5. Normally the chalitza is to 4, and then he's miyab in the 5th. But here he's going to have to give chalitza to all 5. Kidei lafkia kol echad mehem es hazika me'eshes ech achiv she'eni yodea mihi, I should say. Aval shar avadoim, right? So we had what were the names again? Yitzchak, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Mutarim bechalitza. They were allowed to marry a girl who had chalitza. Is yochel kol echad mehem liyabem es achas hadnoshim. After the others gave chalitza. Okay, that's what we have in the first diagram. Let's read it inside. Miktsasam achim, umiktsasam she'ein achim. Oh no, 1 second. Sorry. Miktsasam kohanim, I'm sorry, I said it was 5 lines up from the bottom. It's actually 2 lines up from the bottom. Miktsasam kohanim, miktsasam she'enam kohanim, kohanim choltzim, she'ena kohanim yabnim, period. Okay. So everything that we discussed is that line, 1 line. That's 2 lines up before the end of the up. You know what? We skipped a little bit accidentally. The first of the wide lines, I'm going to sort of shorten it. Miktsasan achim min ha'av, miktsasan achim min ha'em, achim min ha'em choltzim, the achim min ha'av miyabne. In achim min ha'em choltzim. Yeah, but we did that, no, last week? Oh, we did it already. I got a little confused.
And paternal brother.
Right. So 1 second, I just want to review it in my mind. I don't want to go backwards because we'll never get through anything yet. But achim min ha'em shalom min ha'av choltzim. Barovas ach min ha'em shalom min ha'av. Okay, but why does he have to give chalitza after? Let's look. All right, maybe we'll come back to that. I just want to move a little bit further. So we're on the last line on the oven. Miktsasam kohanim umiktsasam achim min ha'em elu v'elu choltzim v'lo miyab. But just like we said before, that achim min ha'em are choltzim v'lo misyabmin. And we said that kohanim are choltzim v'lo misyabmin. So if we have miktsasam kohanim, miktsasam achim min ha'em, is elu v'elu choltzim v'lo misyabmin. Okay. So now we begin Daf Tzadi Tes, where basically our shir starts today.
So did we know who the Kohanim was? Didn't know the Kohanim.
Yes, we can identify the Kohanim, and therefore, since there's a possibility that any one of the 5 women got chalitza from the Eishes Ach, therefore the Kohanim cannot implement Yibum because a chaluta is posel l'kud. Okay. Now we're going to learn a brisa which comes up with 3 scenarios that are very odd in the following way. A man will have to give chalitza, mitzad safek in this mixture case, to his own mother, or in the second case, his own sister, or in the third case, to his own daughter. And what we've been seeing lately in Masechet Yevamot is that the Gemara is coming up with like wild scenarios and halachic rulings that are so counterintuitive. I mean, a man giving chalitza to his own mother or his own daughter, his own sister. So Torah Rabban, yesh choletz le'imo misafek, lachoso misafek, levito misafek. We're going to go through each one of these cases and explain the scenario in which a man would have to give chalitza. We'll start with the first case, to his own mother. Normally, if a woman is an erva and she falls the yibum, there's no yibum, there's no chalitza. But here's going to be a case because of the nature of the safek that he's going to have to give chalitza to his own mother. But again, you have to add the word misafek. I mean, that's going to be the key word over here. That because of the suffix, he's not exactly sure if she is in fact his mother or his sister or his daughter. Therefore, he's going to have to give chalitza, ketzah. Imo ve'isha acheres. Vilahen shnei zecharim. He gives the following case. Yaakov marries Rachel, and out of that marriage they have Yosef. Reuven marries Chana, and from that marriage they have Chetzron. So again, Yaakov is married to Rachel. Reuven is married to Chana. The Chazru, the Yoldu Shnei Zecharim b'Machave. Now both Rachel and Chana, the wives of Yaakov and Reuven respectively, have two other sons in some sort of dark cave or so, and they get mixed up, the two. So we don't know who is the son of whom. And now Yaakov and Reuven, the husbands of Rachel and Chana, die. Uba b'nashal zu, let's say Yosef, who's the son of Rachel, and again, who is Rachel married to? We said Yaakov, right? So now we have Yosef, the son of Rachel and Yaakov, who marries Chana. Right? Chana was originally married to Reuven, am I correct? And now Reuven is dead. And Yosef marries Chana. Now, let's understand. Yosef is allowed to marry Chana because Yosef's parents are Yaakov and Rachel. He's not related to Chana in any way, nor is he related to Reuven. So he's allowed to marry Chana. So Yosef marries Chana. Now, Chana, if you recall, was the mother of Chetzron. And Chetzron, who is the son of Chana, Nosa imo shel zeh. He goes ahead and he marries Rachel, the mother of Yosef. Umesu below Bonim. Now Yosef and Chetzron die. And we said before that Yosef is married to Chana and Chetzron is married to Rachel. So that means that Rachel and Chana will both fall for Yibum. Excuse me. Naflu Rachel v'Chana liyibum lifnei hataroves shehem ha'achim shel Yosef v'Chetzron. So again, we don't know which of these brothers is a brother to Yosef or to Chetzron, both of whom died. So in front of each one of these two mixed, Taroves brothers, we have these two Noshim, that's Rachel and Chana, that are falling for Yibum. But guess what? Each one is a suffix imo. Right? Because if we go back, it says Chazru Rachel and Leah v'yoldu shnei zechar b'machavet. So we don't know which of these two unidentified brothers is the son of either Rachel or Chana. So again, Rachel and Chana are going to fall for Yibum because who died? Because Yosef and Chetron died. No. Yosef. So I'm sorry, I'm almost there. Again, Yoldu Shnei Zechar b'Machave. So Rachel and Chana had another two children. And then Yaakov and Reuven die. Now Yosef marries Chana, and Chetzon marries Rachel. And then what happens? Then Yosef and Chetzon die. Yosef married Chana, Chetzon married Rachel, and they both die. Now Rachel and Chana fall for Yibum. This mixture. In other words, if I look at one of these two sons that got mixed up, he might in fact be the brother of the late Yosef, or he could be the brother of the late Chetzon. We don't know. Same thing for the other boy. Right? Because Rachel and Leah had other sons besides Yosef and Chetzon. So these are brothers of Yosef and Chetzon. We're mixed up. We don't know which of these two is the brother of Yosef, which of the two is brother of Chetzon. So obviously, what we're going to want is they both give chalitza. So if they give chalitza, let's say, for example, one of them, in other words, one of them, a brother of Yosef, might be brother of Yosef, he gives chalitza to Rachel, who might be his own mother. Do you follow that? So the reason why these two gentlemen have to give chalitza to both Rachel and Chana is because they might be, each one could, again, if you go one by one, each one could be a brother to, let's say, Yosef who died, or a brother to Chetzon who died. But again, there is a 50% possibility that he's not the brother because he was born as a son to the other wife. I mean, to the other woman, I should say, who's not married to Yosef. But there's a 50% chance that is his mother. So therefore, zechol it's l'shteim, zechol it's l'shteim, nitzakol echavechet chol it's l'imo misafek. So this I have here in the diagram. Lachoso misafek kesad. How could it be that a person gives chalitza to his sister because of safek? Kigon. So it's a case of imo. So the mother, he has it here, the mother of Reuven is Rivka, So Rivka was married to Avram, and she gave birth to Reuven. So again, Rivka is the mother of Reuven, and now she marries Yitzchak. The Isha Cheres. And Nochem. You have the mother of Reuven is Rivka. Rivka had been married to Abraham. Now she gives birth to Reuven. She's now married to Yitzchak. Yes. Sheyoldu shtei nekevos b'machave. Nisarva nekevos ve'en yodua mi hi bito shel zu umi bito shel zu. Bo achehem shalome osa ha'em. So this is a brother of Reuven from the same father, but they don't have the same mother. And it says Acheim, the brothers of Reuven, we'll call them Shimon and Levi, Unisa'um. And they married these two Nekevos that got mixed up in the Machave. Mesu, now these brothers died below Banin. And these two unidentified females fall for Yibum. It's a suffix Yibum Lifnei Reuven. Shehu Acheim Me'a'av Shel Shimon V'Levi. Ach achas me'ani achoso me'imo. Ilu hoya makira, lo hoysa tzricha chalitza. Be'achshu she'ena makira, choletz l'shtein misafek. Nimtza she'esh ofet shu choletz lachoso misafek. And then finally, the bito misafek, ketzad, ishto ve'isha cheres. So we have the wife of Reuven, and the wife he has it as Kolev. Sheyoldu shtei nekevos b'machave. So it was the tarovas of these two nekevos. We don't know which one is the bas of Reuven, which is the bas of Kolev. Ubo acheyev. You write Shnei Achem Echav Shel Reuven O Shel Kolev Shehem Dodeim Achei Avim Shel Osan Asfekus and Nisa'um Umesu Below Banim Yat Naflu Lifnei Reuven O Lifnei Kolev Shtei Noshim Liyabma Misafek Kevin Shel Chol Echad Mem Adover Safek Al Kol Isha Shema Hibito Uktur Miyibum O Shema Hibas HaIsha Shnia Uz Kuka Lo Liyibum Al Kain Zelo Choletz Lebito Misafek V'zeh Choletz Lebito Misafek. Tanya Hoya Rabbi Meir Omer Ish ve'Isha Pa'amim Shemolidim Chamesh Umos. They can have 5 children from 5 different nations. Ketzad Yisrael Shalokach Eved V'Shivcha Min Ashuk. Second, he marries a.
We just go back to the previous case.
Yeah.
So that was the uncle married the niece.
That's what I understood.
Okay. The uncles married the nieces, but they don't know if it was really their niece or just some unrelated. Girls were mixed up.
Right.
And then they die.
So it could be his own daughter.
One is the father of one of the girls.
Correct.
Okay.
He's giving chalitza to his own daughter, Misa. Now, this case, I don't say Yisrael shall lokach eved v'shivcha min hashuk. How did that happen? Exactly, I don't understand. V'lahem shnei banim. And they have two sons. And this guy are echad minham. And we're talking about an Eved Knani and a Shifcha Knanis. Lahem Shnei Banim, Shenoldu Lahem, Kasher Hoyu Tachas Yidei Adonom Hadgoy, Kodem Shenimkaru Yisrael. In this guy are echad minham. Not sure if I have this case down pat yet. Nimtza sheyesh la'avodim elu bonim mishtei umos. Echad ger v'echad oved kol chavim. It bilon l'shem avdus. So there was a relationship between them. The Yoldu Ben. So he's got an evidence shivcha, and they were still avodim, and they gave birth to a son. Hare Khan. Now we have shalosh. How is that so? We have ger, the ovid kol chavim. Now we're adding an evan. Shichrer es hashivcha. Uba leha eved. Yeshkan. We have 4 generations, 4 nations. Ger v'ovid kol chav v'eved. Shichrer shneim umamzer. Because if the Eved has a relationship with a Shivcha Mishuchreres, which means that she's a Yisraelis, then the child is a mamzer. Shichrer Eshneim, the Sion Zelazeh, the Yoldu Lo Ben Bigi Rusav, a Ray Khan. Now we have 5 umos. Ger, the Ovdei Kochavim, the Eved, Umamzer, the Yisrael. So the Gemara asks, "Ma'ikov mashmal, and what is Rabbi Meir teaching me in this price that I didn't know?" Ovei Kochav Eved Abal Bas Yisrael Avlad Mamzer. So it's only one detail in his ruling that was a commitment to a new Allah. Taner Rabbanan Yesh Mocher Es Aviv Lahagbos Imo Ksubasa. What does this mean? Mocher Es Aviv. words, there's an outstanding debt to pay the ksuba. So he sells himself as an eved in order to gain the resources to pay the ksuba. Ketzad Yisrael lokach eved v'shivcha ben hashuk v'lahem ben. So he was kona an eved and a shivcha, but not their son. The shivcha, it's a shivcha. Okay, I don't know what's going on. You have a footnote here on this? He doesn't give me a footnote. David, you have a footnote? Can I borrow? Thank you. Someone sells his father in order to enable his mother to collect ksuba payments. 21. A ksuba contract made at the time of the marriage, in which the husband obligates himself and his estate to pay his wife a certain sum of money should he divorce her or die. Ketzad Yisrael lokach eved v'shivcha min hashuk. A Jew purchased a Canaanite slave and a slave woman from the market, from a guy. V'lahem ben. And they had a son who was not included in the sale. Ishichrer es hashivcha. Subsequently, the Jew emancipated the slave woman, unisa'ah, and he married her. The Amad v'Kosav kol nechasav libna. Okay, so what's going on here? She has a son, and he wrote. Okay, the son sells his father in order to enable his mother to collect ksuba. Micah Mashmalon, Kula Rabbi Meir. The Avda Metaltale Mishtabil Ksuba. So he's categorizing an Eved as Metaltalin. And Rabbi Meir is of the opinion that metaltalin are included in the commitment to pay his wife's ksuba. He says the Gemara Bava Bas in Bava Kama declares slaves are treated as real property. Real property, I think, means karka, with shibudim, with regard to the collection of debts. It is a well-established principle that slaves are compared to real property. He quotes Allah of Onah. Nevertheless, it is still possible. Well, I know what he's about to say. I think that there's no betichus. Let's see if he's. Nevertheless, it is still possible to say that the slaves are not encumbered for payment of a person's debt. For maybe argue that a creditor betichus, right? A creditor relies only on actual real property, real estate, for collection of debt. Land is stationary and indestructible, but slaves who can run away or die are not to be relied upon for any payment, for any collection. Okay, no shibud on an eved. And Rabbi Meir says, avoda metaltali, umetaltali mishtabim. So Rabbi Meir has machlokas in the Chachamim whether a man's metaltalin, if it's pledged in the ksuba or not. According to Chachamim, a widow or a divorcee may collect a ksuba from real estate and only from real estate, not from movables, not from metaltalin. Rabbi Meir, on the other hand, maintains that movable property is included in the ksuba, and a woman may therefore demand payment from her husband's movables upon his death or the divorce. Notice, I don't have to invoke the Shita Rabbi Meir that the shibud of a ksuba encompasses metaltalei, but I could instead offer the following interpretation that an eved has the status of karkos. And therefore, there's a shibud on the eved for the payment of the ksuba. All right, so that leads us to the Mishnah here on the top of Daf Tzadi Tes, correct? On the bottom of Daf Tzadi Tes. Isha Shari Vlada Bavlad Kalos. We're still learning the halachas of Tarobas. I was hoping that maybe we finish it up today and then we could start something new tomorrow, but I don't know if with that lucky. Okay, let me wish everyone a great day.
Sure. What's the schedule now? What do you want?
Let me just shut this off. I'll be right with you.